Hello friends. Hello friends. In last lecture we discussed the condition for light amplification. So in this light amplification we study about the how can be light propagates in the material medium, and then photons can be absorbed in the lower state, and lower state due to emission of photonic radiation, so it will goes to the excited state. So due to this process, loss of energy generated. So now today we are going to start new point, population inversion. So in this population inversion process, at thermal equilibrium, photon can be absorption and emission processes takes place. So absorption and emission process due to population inversion of N1 greater than N2 in forms generated. So in this population of inversion, the energy levels of E1 to E2 will be generated. The majority of atoms can be present in the higher energy level than that of the lower energy level. So in this way the population inversion processes is greater than population of upper energy state. So in this way we get the lower energy level of population inversion greater than the upper level population inversion. So energy of excited state is greater than energy of ground state. So in this way the population inversion phenomena at high percentage stimulated emission, higher state to lower state energy level generated. So in this way the stimulated emissions takes place the lower energy level, higher energy level to lower energy level. So in that equilibrium state, the population of N2 of upper level to be lower energy N1 is known as the population inversion. In this state, equilibrium state, population of upper level of N2 is population of in lower level will be the higher and lower state according to that of phenomena generated. So in these processes in the equilibrium state of photons generated by upper level to lower energy level state. So according to that of N2 by N1 is equal to exponential of in bracket E2 minus E1 by KT. That equation represents the Boltzmann distribution. According to that law, we get the equilibrium state. So in this equilibrium state, the N2 and N1 is the population of higher and lower state. Exponentially energy of upper state and minus energy of lower state will be generated the Boltzmann distribution law at that equilibrium state. So N2 can exceed the N2 exceed N1 temperature where negative state reached. So in this way we get the population of non-equilibrium state may the unremoved the population of that state will be temperature negative formation generated. So in this way the temperatures below temperatures absolutely zero negativity generate. So that phenomena, the population inversion in non-equilibrium state generated. So this population inversion state can be a normal state of temperature reach. So in this way we get the energy level of higher and lower than that of the population of inversion, higher and lower energy states will be proved. So next is how can be the population of three energy level states will be generated. So see in diagram, E1, E2, E3 be the three energy level state. So in this state, the population between three levels of energy states levels generated. So according to that of the phenomena of population inversion, N1, N2, N3 means 1, 2, 3 state will be defined the levels of between the three level system. So in this way the decay spontaneous occur the from 2 and second and first level. So in these processes the energy levels of three energy level state consider the populated for this E1, E2, E3 the three states of energy levels. In this way E3 populated the lower state of energy level E1. So see in second diagram, level of E1, E2, E3 is the energy levels, and according to N1, N2, N3 the population inversion of that energy levels according to that of. So in this way radiation transitions takes place from higher level to second E2 level. So and that this state will be generated in second level state generated in ground state level. That pumping inversion process of that phenomena will be generated. According to that of the ground state level process will be directly goes to the higher state of E3. In this three level system, the state of population N3 is less than N2, less than N1. The system can be absorbed the photons rather than the emit of photons. So in this way the populated of the representation of absorption and emission of photons, we get the photonic phenomena of absorption and radiations of emit in the absorbed photons gets the emits photons direction. So that system will be supplied the energy population inversion N2 and N1 supplied the external energy N2 population in takes place in the form of N1 between the levels of energy levels of E2 and E1. So in this way we get the moment of the systems will be generated according to the that of the energy levels E1, E2, E3. So in that equilibrium state uppermost level E3 populated than least of that and than that of the lower energy state. The populations mostly occur in the form of that the arrow will be represents the population of inversion phenomena in excited state to middle state and then that of middle state to ground state. So in this way the population inversion of particular system will be exceed from N2 to N1 levels. So in this way the energy reach from E2 to E1 levels. So in this way we get the energy three level energy states of that population inversion phenomena will be proved. So next is populations in stimulated emissions and light amplification formation how can be takes place. In stimulated emission process population inversion condition that of stimulated emission produces the cascade light or randomly emitted spontaneous photon. In this phenomena we get the few randomly emitted spontaneous photons will be triggered from that of the stimulated emission process. In this stimulated process, you know that the atoms in excited states will be go downward directions generated, and one or two photons radiation phenomena will be generated due to one or two photons will be reached. So in this way, excited state population is more than that of lower level population. In the excited states, more and more atoms present in that of excited state in stimulated emission. So emitted of spontaneous photons than that of the stimulated emission of photons will be stimulated photons, still more stimulated emission takes place. So in this way, excited states of populations is more than that of lower state population. See in that diagram the phenomena of spontaneous emission. The energy state E1, E2, E3 according to that of emission of processes. In this first diagram, see the spontaneous emissions takes place. The excited state atoms will be reached in downward directions, and due to spontaneous emission, the excited state atoms comes down to the ground state atom. So in this way, the more and more atoms will be present in that of state ground state excited atom reach to the ground state atom. So say in this second figure, stimulated emission takes place. Excited state atoms suddenly goes to the downward directions in ground state present. One or more atoms can be can be produces in that stimulated emission of process. So third is also the stimulated emission process. Two atoms present in excited state, and in downward directions goes to the ground state level. The two atoms present will reach the one atom produces two atoms. So in this way, two atoms is converted in the form of four atoms according to that of stimulated emission of process. So in this ground state presents the more and more atoms according to that of process of spontaneous and stimulated emission of process. That process will be metastable, means metastable state means ground state will be the fulfill of number of atoms present in that ground state. We can now we will build the formation of population inversion N2 greater than N1. So in this way, the stimulated emission are more likely than absorption of light get amplified. So excited state atoms goes to the downward direction ground state atom. So in this way, more and more atoms according to that of stimulated and spontaneous emissions present in that ground state. So ground state will be fulfill of atoms present. So that of stimulated emission, more absorption light according to that of process, more light get amplified. So that of amplification phenomena, the stimulated emissions mostly likely absorption, but emission likely absorption and light will get amplified phenomena, amplification phenomena generated. So that population at lower level larger than that of the excited state. So stimulated emission diminish and amplification of light will be generated. So this in that processes amplification light will be produces according to that of phenomena of spontaneous and stimulated emission. So according to that of energy levels and populations inversion phenomena, we get the amplifications of light processes can be produces. So in this way we can prove that population inversion how can be takes place in the higher state to lower state, and according to that of energy levels formation will be generated. According to that three level of energy processes, we can prove that the population inversion of process. So thank you.